Good morning, my friends at the Hero Support Network. How you doing today? So today is officially February 1st. Yes, we made it through January. So I want to give you a little sneak peek of the change agency assessment tool that I'm going to be making. It's going to be a tool that a person can use to help to assess for themselves the way or ways that they might benefit by getting involved with what we're doing here. So, because, I kind of break it up into like three different, qualities of experience. I call it shriveling or languishing or flourishing. And most Americans spend their lives living at languishing, a state of languishing. That's according to a positive psychology researcher by the name of Corey Keyes, and also Barbara Fredrickson did some work on that. And you can even check them out on Wikipedia if you want. They're pretty cool. But they also have books and stuff published. But because Wikipedia isn't really known for being the most scientifically backed site on the planet, but it is a really great place to get some insights and information about different subjects that you might be interested in. So anyways, often we might think that we're doing just fine in life and that we don't need, help with any problems because we don't seem to really have any problems, and to be honest with you, part of that in itself can become a problem when we are choosing to be in denial about a problem that exists, right? I sometimes think that there should be another stage added to the stages of change model because right now they talk about people who are in a stage of pre-contemplation, which means there is no problem. That's the denial stage. And then the second stage is called preparation or determination, which means you're thinking about making a change. You're ready, you see there's a problem, and you're thinking about taking steps to change it. And then the third stage is called action, and that's the stage where you do something about your problem, right? That's the stage that people need to be in order to benefit from my services. And in some area of their life, there's something that they want to take an action step on. And they want to increase their character. They want to develop their character in ways that will help them to manage their life more effectively and appropriately, right? And they're going to do that by gaining knowledge and skills about how to initiate and sustain a positive change, and how to, once they've done that and developed change agency, they're then going to try to construct pathways to the achievement of goals. So, four quick problems that you or anyone else might be experiencing. One of them, the first one is called other directedness, okay? This is the part about whether or not you can initiate a change. You're not going to be initiating any changes if you don't direct your own mind and actions, right? If you take all of your cues about what to do from your peer group or from the majority culture or from someone in your family, a parent or an aunt or uncle who tells you and has told you all your life what you ought to do, and you just have swallowed that pill down, and now you think it's yourself. You think that's who you are, but really that's actually who they are. You're just, kind of like mimicking their behavior, right? And so you need to be self-directed if you want to initiate something original, right? So that means you decide what you want to do. You come up with a plan, the strategy, and you do the work, right? Even if it goes against what other people are doing. That's the part about being vulnerable. You have to be willing to take a risk and risk rejection from some people who might not be in alignment with your agenda, right? Second problem is apathy. Often, in order to survive in a toxic environment, whether at home or at work, you have to learn to stop caring. You have to unplug emotionally. And one of the ways you can tell if you've stopped caring about what's happening to other people, what happens to you, is when you become desensitized emotionally, right? I knew somebody, a whole group of people actually, who used to think it was funny when an adult client in the behavioral health field would like try to bite people's faces and slash their arms and stuff, and the staff would report it. I was one of them, that almost got my face bitten off, and they didn't do anything about it. They just said, you need to stop complaining, and that would be an example of how they had gotten too accustomed to violence and become desensitized to it, so that it no longer even entered their radar of things that might be wrong in their environment. And consequently, um, they would go home and they would drink a lot of alcohol, and they would, smoke a lot of weed, to be honest, I'm sure. Some of them described that. Actually, most of them said I needed to go home and drink whiskey. That's what their advice was. Go home and drink whiskey to deal with the stress, rather than change the effed up circumstances, right? Because that would require confronting the problem. And that is, so you want to, that's problem number 3, is not wanting to confront a problem. But to go back to number 2 there, you want to replace that apathy. Apathy, you don't care about things, right? You don't care. What you need to understand is that apathy is a defense against pain. And so apathy doesn't mean that you're all right. It means that you're in pain and you're just blocking it out from your awareness. So rather than continuing to live in apathy, just go ahead and be willing to tolerate the discomfort temporarily, let that pain wash over you, and then experience, go out and change things in your circumstances so that that thing that's causing pain is removed. And so you're no longer just medicating the symptom of pain. Instead, you're actually doing surgery on your life and getting rid of the tumor that's causing that pain, so to speak. Number 3 is fear of confrontation. If you or someone you know is choosing to avoid problems when they arise, whether there's a problem in your personal life, or a problem in your social life, or some other problem that affects your well-being and your ability to reach your full potential, that problem is not going to go away until you face it. This is one that I learned the hard way. Some of you know, I know Chad and Ted remembers back when I was in Ohio, I made some poor choices. I avoided solving problems, and guess what? They ended up coming back on me hard. And when you wait to solve a problem, it gets so big that you can no longer deal with it without it actually hurting a lot worse. So it's better to solve the problem in the moment rather than wait till it gets huge. So the solution to that fear of confrontation is to get the skills and knowledge you need to feel confident enough to face problems directly. That's called assertiveness, or assertive problem solving. And the final 4th one is a lack of support, right? Once you've gotten all these skills, you're self-directed, you care about how things come to be the way they are in your life, you can face problems directly. The last problem that's going to face you in this heroic stage is a lack of support, right? You see, in that last example of fear of confrontation, that sort of embodies or occurs because of the fact that within you there might be a lack of internal supportive resources. In other words, your behavioral repertoire needs to get beefed up by somebody like me who can give you some new skills, and improve your bag of tricks so that when you go into those situations, you can confront them directly because you have more skills, right? You can set limits. You know what's going to happen. You know what a power struggle is. You know how to enforce limits. You know what testing boundaries means. You know how to name what's happening to you. You can recognize abuser tactics, right? And you can provide rationales for why they don't work. You can offer alternative strategies. These are all things that will increase your capacity to be able to confront that problem in the moment when it arises. So the last thing is an environmental lack of supportive resources. I might have all the skills in the world, but if I'm the only guy in a business or a company where there's 50 other people, and they're all either afraid to confront a problem, or they all have problem number 2 of apathy and they don't care about it, or even worse, number one, they're letting someone else direct their behavior. Well, then what's going to happen to me, right? I'm going to get gunned. I'm going to get outgunned, and I will not be able to succeed at creating a positive change in that place because I lack supportive resources in the form of other people, other heroes like yourself, right? So once you learn to be self-directed, you learn to care about how things come to be the way they are. You can directly confront issues all the time, and you have support in your life. Then you find your capacity to manage any situation for well-being and flourishing is dramatically increased. So I know this is a long video. Thanks for hanging in there, and hopefully we'll have that assessment out to you soon. But keep on trucking and making good things happen. See you next time.